Hi everyone, this is Mig from Sneaks and Ball PH, and today we'll be taking a look at some of the shoes that released from July 12 to July 18, and we'll also be taking a look at some of the new sneakers that will come out next week. There were quite a lot of basketball shoes that released last week, and it's mostly because of Adidas. Adidas did release 7 basketball shoes last week, and making up a bulk of that would be 4 Dame 6 colorways. So starting off with those 4 Dame 6 colorways, the first colorway would be this predominantly black Dame 6. I don't really understand why Adidas keeps dropping black Dame 6s because I think we've had enough of the black base Dame 6s. But maybe it's because the Dame 6 has really cheap material, so if you have it in black, it kind of makes it less obvious that it's really worn down and really dirty. But at least with this colorway, it does have quite a bit more color than the other Dame 6s that are predominantly black. So at least in this shoe, even though you do have a predominantly black upper and an all black midsole, you do have this sort of marbled pink outsole, and it sort of peeks out at the sides and as well as the forefoot. So you kind of do have some pop of color. You also have this sort of light brown color here on the 3 stripes on the lateral side. Then you also have it on the heel tab as well as on the medial side. I appreciate that they did put a little bit of color with that light brown on the 3 stripes and that pink on the outsole, but you know, it's just there's been too many black Dame 6s, so I don't know. It's just whatever. Although if you do want a black pair of Dame 6s, I think that this is the best one to get because at least it does have a little bit of pop of color. Then for the next colorway of the Dame 6, this is actually a pretty interesting colorway because it does have a split look, but it also has a mismatched look as well. So on the right shoe, you have red on the lateral side with white on the medial side. And then for the left shoe, you do have black on the lateral side and white on the medial side. And it's actually really cool because that split look goes throughout the shoe. So even on the outsole, like for the right shoe, it's red on this side and white on the other side. And it's black on the other side on the left shoe with white on the inner side. Then for the right shoe, since it is the red and white one, you do have a little bit of black on the tongue as well as the heel tab and on the nylon cables. Then for the left shoe, since it is the black and white one, you do have red nylon cables instead. Then if it wasn't already obvious, I really like mismatched shoes, so I really love the Lebron 7 Media Days that were purple and yellow and mismatched. And I also have another pair of mismatched shoes here. So this is the Lebron 16 Equality with a white right shoe and a black left shoe. So I just really love that look, especially when it's executed properly. And in my opinion, I feel like this was executed really well. Not only do you have that mismatched look, but you also have that split look, which I think looks really good on the Dame 6. So in my opinion, this is such a fire shoe. And if you are a Blazers fan, it does come in the Blazers colors. So that's a plus as well. I really do have a pair of Dame 6s, but so hard to pass on these, so I might end up getting this and flipping the other one. Then for the next colorway of the Dame 6, you do have a USA colorway of the Dame 6. And it's quite a bit different from the USA colorways that Nike has been releasing because instead of a white upper, you have a navy upper. It does look pretty cool, but as I said, I was already bombarded with USA colorways from Nike, so I'm really not sure how to feel about these. But I have to admit that the color blocking on this Dame 6 is really clean. So you do have a blue upper, then you do have a little bit of white here on the midsole, as well as the 3 stripes on the lateral side. You also have a little bit of white on the wing on the medial side, and then you have some red on the pull tab, the tongue, as well as the nylon cables. Then you do have USA printed on the tongue. Then for the outsole, it does have this translucent rubber with this pretty cool design with the stars as well as the red, white, and blue. I really like the graphic on the outsole because it's not your typical flag that you just printed on the outsole. So it has this pretty cool design to it. I think I might actually prefer this Dame 6 USA colorway compared to the other USA colorways from Nike. But I don't know, maybe it's just a little bit of a bias on my part because all of the USA colorways that we've seen from Nike are pretty much all the same in terms of color blocking. Then for the last colorway of the Dame 6, you do have a pretty much all orange Dame 6. And even though I am a really big fan of orange since it is my favorite color, I think they overdid it on this one. The upper is mostly orange, then you have an all orange midsole as well as an orange outsole. You do have a little bit of a lighter orange on the medial side. Then for the nylon cables, it is this sort of really light grayish blue. Then in the middle of the outsole, you do have this dark blue. So at least you do have a few other colors. However, when you do look at the shoe from the side, it looks pretty much all orange, and I think that's just a bit much. I think what they could have done was at least made the midsole white and maybe the 3 stripes on the lateral side, because I don't know, it's just all orange and I think it's too much. But you know, you might love orange even more than I do, So if you like this, then it's pretty much available on the Adidas site. Then for the next shoe, we have a predominantly red Adidas Zone Boost. And the Adidas Zone Boost has kind of been a flop in my opinion, because it really was supposed to succeed the Marquee Boost as well as the Crazy Explosive. But it seems like it really has flopped because not a lot of people buy the shoe, and it pretty much is a sure thing that these go on sale on the outlets. But for the first time in quite a while, Adidas released a new colorway of the shoe. So this colorway has a predominantly red upper, and then you also have the red midfoot cage and a red outsole. Then on the upper, you do have yellow on the 3 stripes as well as the laces and the lace loops. Then near the heel tab, you do have this sort of milky white translucent bubble that has ATL written on it. So since it does have ATL written on the back, I think this will be probably used by John Collins, because John Collins does use Adidas shoes and I did see him wearing the Marquee Boosts before. So maybe he's gonna give the Zone Boost a shot. Then lastly, you do have a little bit of white here on the tongue, as well as a white boost midsole. The Adidas Zone Boost definitely has its own quirky and unique look, so it really isn't for everyone, and that includes me. I've never really been a fan of the Zone Boost, and especially when I saw it in person, I was like, okay, so the materials aren't as premium as they look in the pictures, so I've pretty much always passed on them, and this would be no different. Then for the next shoe, we do have silver hardened volume 4s. And I must admit, it's pretty unique. And this has been a theme with Adidas because Adidas tends to like dropping metallic tones of their shoes. They don't only do this with their basketball shoes, they also do like gold and silver Ultra Boosts, gold and silver Continental 80s, and Stan Smiths. So Adidas tends to like doing this. In my opinion, it pretty much is to just grab attention because like if you have a silver or gold shoe, you're bound to get some looks. But judging from the pictures, it's nowhere near as shiny as the Harden Volume 3 that was in all gold. And I actually think I have those with me, so hang on a minute. Ah, there we go. So this was the Harden Volume 3 I'ma Be a Star. So this is a pretty much all gold leather upper. And it is pretty loud, and it's, as you can see, very shiny. I don't feel like this silver Harden Volume 4 is anywhere near as shiny as this one, but it still is a metallic tone, so it does grab your attention quite a bit. So you do have an all silver upper on the shoe, so it's pretty much silver all throughout the leather. You also have silver on the mesh, you have silver on the midfoot band, and you have silver on the tongue and 3 stripes. Then the thing that makes the metallic Adidas basketball shoes better in my opinion than, you know, the metallic casual shoes is that they break the metallic by putting some other color on the midsole. So just like the Harden Volume 3, the midsole on the Harden Volume 4 is in white. And then on the outsole, it is translucent, and you do have this sort of light brown and dark gray tone. And I'm not really sure why they decided to make that the color of the outsole, but you know, it is just on the outsole, so it doesn't really make much of a difference to the overall aesthetic. In my opinion, this is a nice colorway of the Harden Volume 4, and if you want to grab some attention, then this is probably the shoe to go. However, if the Harden Volume 4 wasn't shiny and metallic enough for you, then Adidas has you covered. So Adidas released the D-Rose 10 in a metallic gold colorway, and Jesus, it's really shiny. I think it's even shinier than these. Just whoa there. So for the upper of the shoe, it mostly is in that metallic gold, and it really is shiny. So you have that metallic gold leather, and then you have a really shiny metallic gold on the heel clip, and that heel clip is plastic, so they were really able to get a metallic finish on it, and it just looks super duper shiny. You also do have a translucent metallic gold outsole, and it is pretty shiny as well. Then on the metallic gold outsole as well as that heel clip, it does have this sort of glittery look to it as well. So, you know, if you needed more shine, there you have it. However, in terms of the color blocking, I really like what they did because they did leave the midsole white, and then the ankle collar does have white leather, and then you have a white tongue and white laces. And then lastly, you also have white outlining the perforation hole panel. Even if the gold is really loud on this shoe, I like that they injected quite a bit of white just so that it doesn't become too bright and too loud. I actually don't own a pair of D-Rose 10s, and I've been wanting to performance review a pair. So I'm not sure. I'm really tempted by this shoe because it's just, you know, I like this shoe, so I probably will like this shoe as well. So those were the releases from Adidas last week, and it's actually kind of a weird week because Nike and Adidas sort of changed roles, because Adidas did drop a lot of sneakers while Nike had a pretty lean week. So for Nike, they only released one new shoe and one sort of restock. So for the only Nike release this week, they did release another colorway of the Nike Kyrie Flytrap 3. And the Kyrie Flytrap line has always been really attractive to consumers because of its very friendly price of 3,895 pesos. This colorway is pretty interesting because it has a very slight mismatched look. Because for both of the shoes, you do have light gray mesh on the forefoot part of the upper, as well as white for the back half of the shoe, white on the tongue, and white on the strap. You also do have a white outsole and you have a white midsole with a little bit of splatter paint. However, it is mismatched because on the right shoe, you do have aqua blue on the insole and the stitching, and you have pink here on the back of the tongue. Then for the left shoe, it pretty much is inverted, so you do have pink on the insole and the stitching, and instead you do have aqua blue at the back of the tongue. Then you also have this really cool and quirky graphic on the Nike swoosh on the lateral side, as well as the medial side. In my opinion, this is a pretty unique colorway of the Flytrap 3. And you know, if you like it, then that's fine, but I'm really not feeling the Flytrap 3's colorways, so I actually haven't liked any colorway that they released so far. But you know, maybe they will come out with one that I would really want to get. Then for the next shoe, Nike did restock on the Air Jordan 5 Retro. So this is actually also up on the channel, so you can check out my unboxing on that. So it's pretty much your standard Air Jordan 5 Fire Red. So you know, full white leather upper, metallic silver on the tongue, black midsole, and a clear outsole, and Nike Air at the back. Still is pretty much available in most sizes, so if you want a pair, then you should be able to get one. Those were the two releases from the Nike website. However, we did have a lot more Nike releases, but this time it was from Titan. So on Titan, they did release the Nike Lebron 17 Graffiti, and this is a pretty interesting colorway of the Lebron 17 because it does pay tribute to the Lebron 4 Graffiti. The Lebron 4 Graffiti is pretty much a fan favorite in terms of colorways of the Lebron 4, and they pretty much transposed it all the way to the Lebron 17. It is quite a bit more expensive than the regular Lebron 17 because they did put some foam posit on the sidewalls, and then they put an additional strap. They even put the elastic bands that you saw on the Air Jordan 4 and moved it to the Lebron 17 Graffiti. You do have that graffiti pattern on the foam posit wing. Then you also have red on the midsole as well as a black Air Max 270 unit. You also have black on the strap as well as black laces. And then for the upper of the shoe, you have a pretty much all-white knit posit upper. I find the concept to be really interesting and really cool, but in terms of execution, I really don't think that the Lebron 17 was the right shoe to have, you know, the Lebron 4 styling on it. But you know, you have to give them props for trying. It pretty much is still available in all the sizes, so if you want one, you can go get them, and it retails for 10,645 pesos. Then Titan also released two colorways of the Air Jordan 34 Low, and the first colorway pretty much takes a lot of elements from previous Air Jordans and puts it into one shoe. So this colorway is pretty interesting. So you do have black on the tongue, as well as black on the eclipse plate and black laces. You also have black on the ankle collar, then you also have black on that sort of plastic piece on the forefoot. Then you also do have a plain white midsole, but then for everything else, it gets a little bit wild. So on the toe part, you do have this pattern that's kind of like the Air Jordan 7. Then you also have this cement look here on the midsole. And for the back, you do have some elephant print. Then you also have this pretty cool graphic here on the underlaying mesh of the shoe. And this shoe is pretty wild. There's a lot going on. And if you like those kinds of shoes, then this is probably the shoe for you. However, in my opinion, I really like it when the Air Jordan 34 has some simple color blocking, because it just gives it a more futuristic and clean look. But you know, I do appreciate all of this Jordan heritage in just one shoe. But you know, I just don't think it's for me, and besides, I have too many colorways of the Jordan 34, so we have to pass somewhere. Then for the next colorway of the Jordan 34, we have the Jordan 34 Low Heritage. And this is a pretty simple colorway, so I like this more than the other colorway that we talked about. So you have a pretty much all-white midsole as well as a white outsole. Then you have black on that eclipse plate as well as black on the upper. Although you do have some hits of red, so you have red on the Flight logo on the tongue. You also have Flight on that strip on the heel. And then you also have a little bit of red throughout the eyelets. So in my opinion, this is really a clean colorway of the Jordan 34 Low. And since it is predominantly black, then it should be able to stay, you know, a little bit more crisp and clean for longer. So if you want a Jordan 34 Low that's not hard to clean and that has simple color blocking, then I think this is the shoe for you. And just another thing to note, I haven't put out a performance review on the Jordan 34, but I have been playing with it for like almost a year now. And the Jordan 34 is really one of the best shoes that you can get right now. Then for the next shoe that they released the Nike Zoom KD13 Chill. So in my opinion, this is actually the best colorway of the KD13 that they've released so far. I didn't really like that, you know, kind of thug life KD13 colorway, as well as the really simple ones. This, I think, gives it, you know, a little bit more flavor, and it comes together really well. So you do have this sort of coral on the oversized Nike swoosh, and you have a little bit of like a coral to green gradient on the midsole. And then for the outsole, it is in white. Then you also have this super light vault here on the wing at the back. And for the upper of the shoe, it is in this sort of green pattern. It just screams chill. So I really like how they executed the concept, and it, you know, just has this really psychedelic look on the upper. It is a pretty colorful shoe, so if you want a more plain KD13, then this is definitely not it. But in terms of the appeal, I think this is the best colorway that they've come up with. And you know, if you feel the same way, then they pretty much have all of the sizes, so you might want to get a pair. Then for the next shoe, they released a Nike Lebron 17 Low in white, purple, and yellow. So it pretty much is just a home Lakers colorway. So on the upper, it pretty much is all white. And then for the front half of the outsole and midsole, it is in white as well. But then on the back half of the midsole as well as the outsole, you do have a yellow Air Max 270 in it. The plastic crown piece for support is translucent, and then you have purple on the Nike swooshes as well as the midsole foam, and then you have purple on the crown logo at the back as well as the lace loops. So if you are a Lakers fan and you want this sort of home colorway of the Lebron 17 Low, then this is definitely the shoe to get. Just make sure to go up half a size because the Lebron 17 Low has a very constricting fit. Then Titan also released the Nike PG4 EP PCG. So PCG is actually Paul George's initials, so it stands for Paul Clifton George. But the reason why he used PCG instead of PG was because he kind of wanted to play on the whole Nike ACG line. So the Nike ACG line means Nike all conditions gear. So normally with the Nike ACG, it's like this all-weather and, you know, all-terrain kind of look. And this is exactly what the PG4 PCG was trying to replicate. So instead of having that usual mesh that you have on the normal PG4s, you have this sort of ripstop material throughout the upper. And I'm not really sure how to feel about this because I've never really been into that kind of material. But I guess it makes it waterproof if you play in the rain. They do have it in this sort of dark gray. And then you have a little bit of crimson red. Then you also do have some crimson here on the pull tab on the back. You have it on the tongue, as well as the Nike swoosh on the lateral side and your nylon cables. Then for the midsole, it is this sort of earth brown. And then for the outsole, you have more black. So it does have that all-terrain look that I think they were really going for. But in my opinion, I just really don't understand why you would want that look on a basketball shoe. But if you like that sort of, you know, hiking shoe kind of vibe, then this is probably the colorway of the PG4 for you. So for the last two shoes, they did drop the Air Jordan 3 Retro Blue Cement. So this actually dropped on the sneaker site in Nike before, but, you know, pretty much sold out right away. So it was nice that Titan was able to release them as well. However, on the Titan app and the Titan website, they did sell out pretty fast. So I think the only sizes left are 10.5 and 11. But if you do want a pair and you are in those sizes, then they're still available for you. The Air Jordan 3 Blue Cement has a royal blue upper. And I don't know, it's pretty loud because it's a very bright royal blue. And then you also have that signature elephant print on the toe as well as the heel. And then you have a white midsole and a gray outsole. It pretty much is the same as the black cement. They just, you know, literally swapped out the black for the blue. So if you like that kind of colorway, then you should go ahead and get them. But in my opinion, I just don't like how the blue matches with the elephant print. So that's just me. Then lastly, they did also drop the Air Jordan 11 Low Women's Concord skate. So we did already take a look at those with my girlfriend in a previous video because they did release on the Nike Sneakers app before. But it's nice that Titan was able to release them as well because the other ones sold out pretty quick. You have a lot of the sizes left for women. However, the sizes that are for men, so anything women's 10 and above, have pretty much sold out because, you know, jealous men are jealous. So you do have that very nice Concord patent leather, as well as a white leather upper and a white midsole and a translucent outsole. So this shoe is actually really pretty in my opinion, and you know, that's exactly the reason why the large women's sizes are pretty much sold out because all the guys want to get them as well. So that's it for the releases last week. So as you can see, there were quite a few releases from Titan as well as Adidas, and Nike had a pretty lean week. Then for the upcoming releases for next week, we pretty much just have the July 24th release of the Nike Lebron 17 Graffiti, and this is on the sneaker side. However, they did already release on the Titan app, so you know, it's just whatever you want to do, like if you want to buy from Nike or if you want to buy from Titan. Then since technically last week was July 12th to July 18th, then this shoe would be for today. Because if you don't already know, I do shoot my videos a little bit in advance so I can edit everything and make everything look nice. But on July 19th, we do have the release of the Nike Air Zoom BB NXT, and it's a pretty interesting shoe. So it comes in this black and neon look, so you have a pretty much all black upper, a black midsole, but you do have neon green here on the outsole as well as the Nike swoosh. What makes it really intriguing is because you have two large zoom units in the forefoot. Then you have a double stack React midsole, and that's pretty insane. And an additional thing is you have a React insole. So I don't know, just from saying that out loud, it's pretty insane, and it would probably be super duper comfortable. So I'm pretty excited for that. However, it does have a pretty hefty price point because it does retail for 9,295 pesos or $180 US. The price on these is in the same ballpark as like Lebron's and Jordan Retro. So as a non-signature performance basketball shoe that has this high of a price tag, it better be a beast. So there you have it, guys. That was the release recap for last week, July 12 to July 18. And then we also had a look ahead to next week. So if you liked the video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Then if you have any comments, questions, or any suggestions for any future videos, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below as well. Then also sound off in the comment section down below what your favorite pair to release last week was. You know, is it anything from Adidas? Was it from Titan? Or was it, you know, one of the two releases from Nike? Just please sound off in the comment section. Then if you haven't already yet, please make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon for notifications. It would help us out a lot here at Sneaks and Ball PH.